Hi guys, my name is Maria Park, and this is Approach to Nerd. And in this episode, we are reviewing the Owl House Season 2, Episode 4, entitled Keeping Up Appearances. This episode had a lot of Wizard of Oz moments for me. We got to finally meet Ida and Lilith's mother, Gwendolyn, who for me is kind of a playoff of Glinda the Good Witch. She has basically come to Ida's house to tell her that she can fix her curse. And apparently she's been doing this every year. And she's been trying to do it for over 30 years. At the beginning of the episode, we do see a flashback where Ida and her mother and I guess a healer are talking. And the only thing he can do is give her like a gemstone that will tell her when the curse is basically getting bad or upon her. And of course, her mother's like, I'm going to cure her, even if I have to cut it out of her myself. Well, of course, Ida freaks out and she's running from her mom because her mother is completely obsessed with getting rid of this curse. And that's how she comes across the human portal. So we learn that the door to the human world just appeared suddenly when Ida was trying to escape her mother, and she ended up running into it. And she doesn't know where it came from, what the origins are, or any of that. So that's interesting. So Glenda has been talking to like this healer, like master healer called Master Warhop, who basically is really a hustler. He's three little demons who's been hustling her this entire time. They give her this useless tome that tells her all the steps that she needs to do to heal her daughter. And she recruits Luce by saying, I have information, about something that will help you with your human portal dilemma. So you help me cure Ida and I will give you this information. So of course, Luce wants to cure Ida too and get the information. So it's a no-brainer. But as all of their tactics to try and heal Ida keep failing, and they're baiting her with her love for apple blood, Luce starts to think something is going on with Master Warhop and this tome. So she wants to see the tome, but we saw in the episode that when they went to see Master Warhop for the first time, he said not to show the tome to non-believers. So of course, Gwendolyn doesn't want to do that. So she's trying to make it very, very difficult for Luce. And, of course, Luce ends up seeing it and they end up finding out the guy is a hustler. What I thought was really interesting is we actually got to see a lot more about Ida and Lilith's childhood and the fact that the mother, in her quest to cure Ida, ignored everything that Lilith accomplished, which is why Lilith is such an overachiever. She is like the Marsha Brady of this scenario. She is the one that doesn't get the most attention. In this case, her mother just flat out child neglects her. And she even says in this episode, I have this one child who has this curse, I need to fix. And you were always so self-sufficient. So I never felt like I needed to pay attention to you. And I was wrong. Basically, I'm a bad mother. And I thought that was a really interesting look into the dysfunctional relationship between Ida, Lilith, and their mother. Even though the mother obviously loves them, she didn't show it. It was more of the mission to cure Ida, and don't worry, Lilith's got it. I love how we all keep coming up with, or keep basically calling out the fact that Lilith dyes her hair, which you can see the little streak of silver in her head, and she's like, it's so black and sleek, but no matter what Lilith does, again, it doesn't seem to be good enough for her mother. And so this is where the problem comes in this episode. Since Lilith and Ida are both sharing the curse, when they both go into the full owl demon mode or whatever we're calling it, it's triggered by their mom. We did see Lilith be a little bit stressed in the beginning of the episode, and I think they did that so we know that there's still elixirs in the house, and the elixir is now working again because Lilith took the other half of the curse. So there's elixirs everywhere, which the mother takes advantage of with Luce by taking them all out of the house, which is another issue in this episode and her quest to heal Ida. But so Lilith kind of freaks out a little bit at the beginning. Of course, Ida gives her the rundown about the elixirs. And then later, she's completely in her feelings because the mother, once again, is ignoring her and doing everything for Ida. So she's eating their version of ice cream. I think it's called ice cream or whatever it's called. It's very funny. And basically King messes up and says, oh yeah, Luce and your mom are out trying to go cure Ida. And so Lilith gets in her feelings and she ends up triggering her demon curse, the curse basically. And so we've got her curse. And then of course, Ida is also triggered because she keeps trying to get this apple blood. And then she finds out that her mother keeps trying to cure her. And it's, actually almost, hurting her and healing her in the process. and it triggers her curse. So Ida curse and Lilith curse are fighting. And so, yeah, they have to basically talk them down. The mother talks them down and first she talks Ida down, and Ida manages to basically get Lilith, and then he gets the elixirs and they go back to normal. And the outcome of their story or this episode is that Lilith is going to go move back in with the mother to spend more time with her because she really didn't have any time with her. She was neglected. So that's really interesting. And I don't think the mother's giving up on the curse, but she's backing off a bit. So we do see that. I do feel bad for Ida because Ida was actually liking the fact that, she had her sister back in the house, and, they were bonding again. Even in this episode, she's like, you've got me. So, and it's good to have somebody else to be here with me and knows what I'm going through, basically. So I do feel bad for Ida in that regards. But something else came out of this episode that I thought was really interesting. And that is that the information that Gwendolyn gives to Luce is that another human before her came through the portal, and she needs to go to the library. I believe it's at Hexside, this special library that basically tells the story about this person. And it made it seem like it was a he. I want to say it was a he, but I can't remember if the verbiage said he. But I've already told you in my other reviews, I think it's Emperor Belos. We never see him do magic outside of using his staff or his minions. It kind of fits the mold that dictators normally don't have what they're actually preaching. So, I mean, the biggest dictators in the world that hate, like if you look at Nazi Germany, Adolf Hitler did not, he had brown eyes and brown hair, but talked about the Aryan race being blonde and blonde hair and blue eyes. So it makes sense that Emperor Belos wants to control all magic because he has none. So that to me is interesting. But then something else that was really creepy happened. The very last scene of this episode, you have Luce talking to, of course, Ida saying, I'm really worried about my mom. I mean, camps out. She must be so worried about me. And then you see the mother sitting on the couch crying. So you're thinking, oh, she's crying over Luce. But then Luce gives her like a handkerchief or something. And I'm like, wait a minute. And she looks very like I won't say evil, but very menacing and dark. Like her face is all showed, but it's definitely Luce, but it's a version of Luce. So now it begs the question, who is this person? Did something happen at the camp that she was supposed to go to and they made Stepford wife children or something? Or I mean, I don't know. It's really weird. I don't know what happened that there's a copy of Luce because the human portal is closed. So either whoever was sending the letters to the mother this entire first season came over from Boiling Isles and is impersonating Luce while the portal was open, or something happened with the camp, which is a whole other nefarious thing. So there's so many questions, like, who is this Luce? How did this Luce get in touch with the mother or get in contact with Luce and take over Luce's life? And the human, if it is Belos, how did Belos get there? Was it an accident, like Luce stumbled in? Why did he decide to stay and take over the magical world? Also, is Belos related to Luce? Because the only other theory I have is, and I said this in the previous review as well, is maybe it's her father, because we don't know anything about the father. So that would be interesting. So it would be interesting for me if Belos was the dad. But we don't know. So again, I love the show. It's very mysterious, intriguing, entertaining, engaging. So I wish we had seen more of Hexside this week. Whenever we don't see Hexside, I miss Willow and Gus, especially, Lumity. Love Lumity. So I definitely missed it this week. And I think we're going to see them more in the next episode. But still a very good episode, and we got a lot out of it. So I'm excited for what's happening next week, but I want to know what you think. So please leave me a comment below and let me know. And if you would like to sign up for jury duty, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like news next on their bell, hit the notification bell. Until next time, I can't wait for you to approach the nerd. Bye, guys.
Thank you for watching my video. I really appreciate it, but hey, the party doesn't have to stop now. Click on one of these videos and keep it going.